having Michael Irvin allows us to turn back to happier times again. When I just floated a couple of weeks ago, Michael, what do you think about maybe Christian McCaffrey? He cackled like a madman and said that would be phenomenal, but it's not going to happen. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. 4 traded draft picks to Carolina later as the Panthers decide to blow it all up. It's actually happened. What do you think of the aggressive move the 49ers made today? And thank you so much for double dipping with us this week.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, when that thing happened, that's why I text you. You didn't text me. I text you. I was like, hey, literally the perfect fit. I mean, literally the perfect. You could, I promise you, if you put a team together, you said we need a running back for this system, for Kyle Shanahan's system. You couldn't have built the running back. You know how you said, well, take this guy's legs, take this guy's arms, take this guy's catching ability. No, you couldn't have built anybody more perfect than Christian McCaffrey.
When I think of, the best running backs in football, I think Derrick Henry, I think before anybody. And I agree with you. I think
school best running back. That's the old school best running back.
Well, that's the thing. Derrick Henry, as great as he is, as much of a human sledgehammer as he is, he wouldn't fit this offense as perfectly as McCaffrey does.
No way. That's old school great, not new school great. This is new school great. Remember, Derrick Henry is the last Emmett John Patel, like the last of the Mohegans in that field where you could just come downhill and pound people. You got to understand this now. Understand what's happening here. The masses are changing. The whole density of the masses are changing. The 360-pound guys used to be 360 pounds of jelly. It would bouncing. 360 pounds now are 360 pounds of muscle. Ain't no more running downhill like that, breaking defenses. You got to cut back. You got to beat speed, and you got to misdirect. You got to send some people in the wrong direction because you can't just keep pounding and running through everybody. This is the new age running back, man, and I'm talking about this is a perfect system. I can't wait. I heard somebody, and I'll give him credit because I love the analogy that Ryan Clark put on, and I heard him say, talking about this now, he said it makes it a positionless team. You remember the positionless thing came in the NBA when we took the center out that couldn't run, put the number 4 in and put him at center. Now all centers run up and down the court. They don't just go and play in the paint. They all come outside the paint. They all play. This is what that's beginning to do. This is a positionless team. You can put Christian McCaffrey out wide with Deebo Samuel in the backfield and then do a sweep with Brandon Ayuk. And then you got the best blocking tight end and pass-catching tight end. Who's playing who? Who's doing what? You don't know, and it'll be hell to stop.
I was about to ask you what the effects on the rest of the offense were going to be, and I was going to ask if you thought this means that Deebo Samuel will carry the football less and become more of a wide receiver. Am I to take from your previous answer that you think that that's not going to change?
No, that's not going to change. That's not going to change now. Let me tell you why now. Christian McCaffrey runs hard. We did the simulator last night of that Saints game, right? We did the simulator. I mean, we weren't on TV, but we were doing the simulator just to practice for the game that we have to call in Munich, my game day crew. And I was watching Alvin Kamara hit it up in there. He was hitting it. He's hitting it hard, but catching the ball outside. I was like, wow. And I like how hard he runs inside. I like how hard Christian McCaffrey runs inside. But Deebo is your hammer. Christian ain't no hammer. Deebo is your hammer. You know what I mean? But Christian will run it up in there. But no, you want Christian to do what he does. And then you can bring in a hammer. You bring in that hammer like Deebo.
Hall of Fame double dip this week here on Damon and Ratto. We got Michael Irvin wrapping around on a Friday. He normally joins us on Monday. We'll be talking to him on Monday after the 49ers and Chiefs game, and that's what I wanted to ask you about here, Michael. What is a fair ask of the 49ers this Sunday of Christian McCaffrey? You either put it in terms of the kind of plays he runs, how many plays he runs, where on the field he gets used. How would you go about, basically going through one day of practice today, no contact for anyone, a walkthrough tomorrow before he's got game time kickoff on Sunday.
Yeah, but hey, listen, man, but we've all been in football, and we're all in football shape. We've all been taking hits. He hadn't had really any practice. It's a walkthrough, but you can get yours, Christian McCaffrey package in there. He's a smart guy. If you get you 3, 4, 5 plays with Christian McCaffrey in here, those 5 plays get his feet wet. And if he does anything with any of those 5, 10 plays he gets, San Fran can win this game. This could be the difference. That's the difference that he will make moving forward, especially when he gets assimilated into it. Because, hey, they don't have that runaway guy that they had where they can come back the last 5 minutes of a game and do what they did in the Super Bowl. They don't have Tyreek Hill. You can press up on this thing, and you can play tough defense up against and just watch Travis Kelce. The only problem is if you don't get to Patrick Mahomes, they got 2 and 3 receivers, the number 2 receivers, the number 3 receivers, but they get 2 and 3 chances to get open. You can cover them on the first route, but Patrick Mahomes does so much that you're going to have to cover them on the second and the third route within the one route. But, boy, if you could get to Patrick Mahomes and stop him from creating that second and third route, you'll win this football game.
By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but getting to Patrick Mahomes just became more of a reality. Nick Bosa was cleared to play today. Still waiting on Charvarius Ward and Talanoa Hufanga, who I think would go a long way to helping out in the secondary. But Trent Williams and Mike McGlinchey also got cleared today, and that's good news for Kyle's running game.
Yeah, boy, listen, man, I told you last week that I had that funny feeling about Atlanta, and I should have said something. Now I got that feeling switched up on the other way, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and say something. I really do feel like this is an opportune time. Because get this, it's just like what happened last night. I was talking about when Arizona got the hop back. See, once you get a player like this, it clears the mind. It clears the mind. Now it clears your slate. You can be looking and say, man, we 3-3, man. We weren't supposed to be 3-3. But now we went through a quarterback, up and down on a quarterback, and now we got a Christian McCaffrey. We got our quarterback set. Now we're about to get our running back set. Right here is our moment. From here on, we got to take off, and a team will hold on to that. It gives everybody an excuse for whatever happened before that. What all happened, it's just like when we got Emmett back after 2 games and went on with the Super Bowl. We were 0-2. So we were able to say, that wasn't us. That's because we didn't have Emmett. Now we got Emmett, let's go. And we went, the confidence. So I believe that's what, that extra push is what's going to give San Francisco, what San Francisco will get. And hey, man, I may pick San Francisco to win this game. This is going to be one of those games. I can't wait to see this happen now. It'll be the best game of the week. It's the game of the week. It's the only great game of the week, really, to tell you the truth.
If as you said, McCaffrey probably is going to have like 5 or 6 plays, plays from scrimmage, but plays that they will expect him to know. How long is a reasonable expectation for him to learn the full playbook? Is it a week? Is it 2? How long is it reasonable to expect him to be fully up to speed?
Well, it depends on how different is the language. I don't know the language of the offenses that he's been in. Now, remember, he hadn't been in just one offense over in Carolina. He's been in a few offenses. So some of those some of those offenses may have some carryover language. The old West Coast offense now, Kyle he's added so much to it. But if you were in an old West Coast offense, you still have some carryover language. That you say, well, what plays do you know? What plays did you run way back at Stanford? That's similar to this because that system was similar to this system. Things like that. So he'll have some connectivity with it, and if they can pull out the plays that he has the most connectivity with, he can be a viable asset.
Hall of Famer Michael Irvin here on 95.7 The Game. What do you think of what the return was to Carolina? A second, a third, a fourth, and then in 2 years from now, a 5th rounder. So they went 4 picks in to get Christian McCaffrey. It's a good thing any other bidder didn't put a 1 on the table because the Niners didn't even have a 1 to put on the table. But what kind of message does that send throughout the locker room that we're willing to sacrifice future for today? I'm guessing that probably gets players' attention more than anything.
Well, it does, and it tells you, hey, like you already believe, man, we got a shot at this. You look at the landscape in the NFC. We can get this. We can get in the Super Bowl. Once we get there, we got a chance at winning that game. Absolutely. They're all in on that. But let's be real here. You're talking about a bona fide, something I really do know. A surefire, something I really do know. And I'm not giving up a number one asset. Hey, we hit and miss on number one. I don't even want to give you the percentage on 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Let's not even get into that. So you want me to go, I'll give you a 2-2, 2-3, whatever, on a gamble. I got this for show. And I ain't talking about some for show, I hope. I'm talking about a for show perfect fit. You throw those assets away quickly because, as I said, you don't even know what those assets going to turn out to. And you know what this is.
Okay, we asked you to be a coach earlier. I'm going to ask you to be a general manager now. What is too high a price in your mind for Christian McCaffrey?
If you would have given up that first rounder, because really, because of not because of the skill set or the talent. I'm just talking about because of the injury history. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's it. Just the injury history. If Christian McCaffrey had never gotten hurt, never missed any game, dude, you can give him the package you gave up and throw a first round in there. You know what I'm saying? And you'll still be good. It's only reason we're talking about this is his injury history. And you don't know if you got him 24, 365.
Only because you brought him up. And, there's all sorts of relationships with Shanahan and McCaffrey and Stanford. And even Emmitt Smith's son now is at Stanford. That playoff game in the Meadowlands where he was running with a dislocated shoulder the entire game, I still remember that, and it's still one of the most mannish things I think I've ever seen on a football field. When did he dislocate did he play that entire game with a dislocated shoulder?
You know what, D? Yeah, I know that's why you and I bored, D, because I've said that same thing, man. I walked in there. I remember Emmett was laying over on the training table. He was crying. He was hurting. He was hurting. This was right after the game. He was hurting. We were just so happy. We were crying for joy because we needed that bye week. We had just won Division I, the bye and everything. And I told Eden, man, I started crying with him. I say, man, that was some man stuff right there. I've never seen anything like it, man. The greatest performance I've ever seen. And it really was. It was incredible, man. It was quite a moment. It was quite a moment. That was man stuff. Now, I get lost in the moment and forget the question you asked.
No, that you reacted to it. Here's the thing. Does that NFL even exist anymore? Where a team would say, okay, you can go ahead and get 30 carries with a dislocated shoulder. It's win time.
Right. And the truth is, you have to worry about, oh, my God, if anybody finds out. Because everybody monitors everything. Oh, you put him out there when he was hurt. You didn't care about him. I don't know what. So I don't know if that NFL exists anymore. I really don't know if that NFL exists. It was an NFL where you showed your commitment through your toughness and maybe even with our ignorance. Like I had that same rib cartilage injury. That's how I got Emmett to stay in the game in New York. I had a cartilage injury in Washington. And I couldn't breathe. I said, I can't breathe. I got to get out. I got to go. He said, they don't know. They don't know you can't breathe. You can just stand out there. We ain't going to throw you the ball. Just stand out there and keep us safe there and let me do this. I said, I don't care. He said, man, just stand out. So I stood out there. I was hurt. Like, they didn't really throw me no ball. So when he got hurt, man, my shoulder, I said, they don't know. They don't know. I said, you stand back here. You let him stack the box. So I do it one-on-one. But we kind of handed him the ball a few times, and he just kept. That thing was incredible. He and I laugh about that all the time, dude. Let me say this: if you're going to build a team that's going to win a championship, those are the kinds of acts you're going to have to see. One man with another, because it shows the commitment to the team and to the mission. I know we all got on tour because a head injury is something different, and we want to be careful and protect everybody from themselves. But Tua wanted to play, and he jumped after that Thursday night. You know what I mean? Because he knows that's his commitment. He said, dude, if the doctors are saying I'm healthy, I am out there. I'm out there. Even if if doctor say I'm not healthy, like that doctor told him his shoulder hurt, you're still trying to go. That's the commitment. That's the commitment. And I know what you mean, because we jump on everybody if anybody playing hurt, but then we rob people of making that kind of commitment. It's a thin-ass line, and we got to know how to walk it.
Offenses in the NFL are down from last year and more from the year before. So when you look at Kansas City and the way they're playing now, the fact that they still have the best offense in the NFL, does that tell you that they are as close to being a champion as they were 3 years ago? Or do you see areas in which they aren't that team yet?
Well, they're involved. They're involved. And a championship team, if you're going to have stability, long sustainability, you have to evolve. Let's look at the greatest dynasty over in New England. That evolved. Tom Brady started winning his Super Bowls with good running game and defense. Then he won some on the short passing game with these no-name receivers. Then he had a hell of a season when he got Randy Moss and went undefeated in the season, lost in the Super Bowl. That offense kept evolving. Then it came back to being two tight ends in the middle of the field doing all those things with Gronk and, of course, Aaron Hernandez. Then you know what I'm saying? That it wasn't the same thing for 20 years. It evolved from one thing to another. That's what greatness will have to do.
So, look, you're double dipping with us this week, which means let's officially help you move some merchandise here. Because I know your podcast, the Michael Irvin podcast on the Podcast One Network, is hot. You've been talking to a lot of former Dallas Cowboys lately. What do you got coming up? Let's get the people aware of where else they can hear you.
Yeah, man, and let me tell you something, man. I love doing podcasts. Because I tell people, man, you get so much when we have conversations, and not just one person talking at a person, where we can interchange and interact. I had Tyler Smith on last week, and he was talking about what it was like going up against, I called them God, Aaron Donald, as a rookie. What do you do when God lines up on you? You know what I'm saying? What do you say? What is that like? What does that prepare you for? Things like that. I'll have on, I've got CD Lamb on here, and I've been going back and forth, and I want to talk about what that transition has been like from him going from the number 2 receiver to now being the number 1. And having to have to do it, dog, while your number 1 quarterback goes down, and do it with your number 2. That's a hard transition, man. But it's a great conversation I will have with him.
Do former Cowboys, especially wide receivers, come to you for advice the way that 49ers seek out Jerry Rice?
Yeah, I talk to all my guys. I talk to my guys. Michael Gallup moved across the street, so that helps out. I can walk across the street. Just, hey, man, what did I see? This is what I saw, talk some of the things, try to tell CDs, you can't catch that ball in your hands when you're a number 1 receiver all the time, because all the attention is on you. Body would naturally tighten up with all of that mess around you, so be able to catch it in your body. Little things that you try to get to them, the small things that some of the coaches haven't said to them, because the coaches just haven't played at that level that they're trying to go to.
The best dressed and the hardest working man in the NFL, Michael Irvin, thank you very much. You're double dipping with us this week meant an awful lot. We wanted to talk to you immediately based on just the question we floated a couple weeks ago, and boom, we talked it into existence. It happened, Michael.
Yeah, it spoke it up, man. It spoke it up. And you heard, of course, the Rams were in the fight to get Christian McCaffrey. Everybody's now, I'm on TV right now, I'll be on Sunday, everybody now is asking, does this make them the top team in the conference? It certainly makes them the top team in their division. Now, one of the top teams in the conference. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's exactly where you want to be right now.
They might be the best team on paper in the NFC, but the Eagles are the best team on the field, and that's what matters.
Yeah, but that matchup, that's a good matchup for the 49ers. That's a good matchup for the 49ers. I think the 49ers matchup, you can call them the best, because they match up great for the Cowboys and the Eagles for what they do. Boy, Yeah, that's the truth. I didn't necessarily want to say that, but that is the truth. I just got to say it. I had to think about it. Like, darn, I guess I really have to say that.
I got to say that now. Yeah, that's true. Michael, you're the best.
So, and it's on its way out your mouth. Do I want to say that? I not really want to say it, but I guess I have to.
There you go.
Just let it go.
That's what happens when we're married to the truth. Thank you very much, Michael. You're the man.
All right, guys. All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to him again on Monday. Michael Irvin. It's a freaking treasure, Ray. We get to dig up the treasure twice this week. That was great.